Welcome to Rebuild and Revive. Today's segment is sponsored by Studio Bliss, an interior design firm that creates beautiful spaces made for living. Thoughtful, functional interiors that bring everyday life into balance. To learn more, visit studioblissinteriors.com. Today, we're stepping into a home that holds a century of stories. Built in 1900, this home was the town's library. It has been transformed into a private residence where historic character meets modern charm. I can't wait for you to see it. Let's go check it out. Hi,
Welcome.
Alicia.
Welcome to my house.
This is Alicia. She owns this beautiful home. I mean, stepping inside right away, I could see all of the history.
Yeah, so this is a home that was built just prior to the turn of the century. There's a couple different records I've seen. One says 1897. I've seen some that say 1900, but let's just say somewhere in that time frame. So it was actually built for a sister, and our next door neighbor has a home that was built for one of the other sisters at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a house for quite some time, but then it was converted into the town's library. It was a library from about 1962 all the way until 94, when it was resold as a home, a residential property. And it's been a home ever since then. So pretty good number of years that it served as the town's library.
Do you see anything that reminds you, that gives you hints or clues that it was a library?
To be very honest, right, as you walk around and you get a chance to tour the home, you won't see things in the home that make you think that.
Right.
If you were to wander down into the basement, which is an unfinished storage area, the one thing that you would notice is there are additional steel beams running vertically all across the basement because of the weight of the books. I'm told it was wall-to-wall bookshelves in every single room, including the upstairs bedrooms. And so you can just imagine the weight, right, that you had to support. And so that's the one thing that you can tell. When we bought the home, I was actually informed that there was some newspaper articles that they were going to give us, which is really cool. So I have a booklet of different articles from back when it was a library, announcing it as a library with pictures. The only way I can tell you some of this information, because I wasn't here at the time, but this area right here was where the receptionist would sit. I have a picture of where that was. And so you would come in through the front door, and right here would be where you would check in or check out your books. It was right here by the stairwell because the nice antique window is in the photo. If you pan around, you can see bookshelves would start all the way from here, kind of a corner bookshelf, all the way to the front door. So it literally was lined with books. Hussey, you'll see in the name of the current library, right? The Hussey Mayfield Library. So this was the Hussey home. And the reason that the current library inherited that name as well is because when Laura Hussey, who lived here since childhood, when she passed away, she actually donated this home to the town. And they sold it for public auction, and it went to the library. I'm told a cousin of hers, Olive, and her pictures are somewhere within the library right now because they had a huge piece of allowing that public auction to occur. Heard that there was some resistance to Laura Hussey, who wanted this to go to the town. There was some resistance to that, to donating the house to the town. And Olive stood up and said yes, and knew that Laura was so passionate. So in 1994, the new library was built up between 5th and 6th Street here in Zionsville. And that's when this home was no longer needed as a library. And so it was sold as a residential property. The homeowners that bought it did a lot of renovation. So they came in, and what I understand is that these front rooms, they did a lot of surface remodeling. There used to be a lot of wainscoting and woodwork throughout the floors, and they changed things to be this lighter color. They added these, pillars here to enter what I now call the library. And you might notice as you walk around my house that there's a lot of antiques. This everywhere you look. I bought antiques to furnish my homes, and I actually grew up in central Pennsylvania where there's a lot of antique stores. And I have to say that I started acquiring them when I was probably 18 or 19 years old.
You started buying
I started buying antique furniture.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I used my spare money for. So it works perfect because as I built this house, it's like, it matches, right? Yeah. This furniture wouldn't work well in some places. Yeah. So lots of antiques, right? And some of them I don't know where they came from or why, but they're all unique. This is a jelly cupboard. It used to hold like cans of jelly inside of it. This thing that I put up on the wall probably wasn't meant to be a shelf or anything you would put on your wall. If you look around over here, this is an old dry sink, like, you know, many years ago in the kitchen. Wow. You might hold some of your goods in there as well. So this is also a unique piece of furniture. This used to be like an ice chest. And so the inside of it, while it's full of things right now, is actually insulated. So they used to keep refrigerated goods in here. It was just finished with a wooden top, but I thought it would look really cool with some sort of finish, like a bar top. And so this is an old piece of granite from a kitchen remodel. And then behind me, you'll find one of the bathrooms in this property. There's 4 bathrooms, and I have to imagine it had something to do with the fact that it was a library and it needed to have public access, because we don't need that many bathrooms. Right. But it is a pretty unique bathroom. I love the tall ceilings, some of the light fixtures, and it's actually the access to my basement.
So this is your kitchen.
This is my kitchen. I love this room. This is one of the rooms that was renovated when it was turned back into a home from a library. And again, I saw some pictures of it. It's interesting because it appears as if it was used as a kitchen in the library, like a smaller kitchen. Yes. Which makes some sense because it was a home up until 1962. So there would have been some kitchen, right? And but it was drastically different at the time. And so again, sort of gave it a facelift, new appliances, new countertops, different cabinets. And then this right here used to be the entrance to the home, or the back of the home. And so again, when it was a home and then a library up until 94, the home ended here. When the homeowners purchased it in 1994, they expanded the home. And so this room on the back, as well as the 3-car garage that's connected with a porch, is all new. As of 94. Okay, Sarah, do you want to see my favorite place in the whole house?
Let's see it.
Okay, it's actually outside of the house.
Okay.
So this is my outdoor space. I have this wraparound porch, which I just replaced last year, I think last fall.
Beautiful.
It goes all the way to the other side. My garden, I live in my garden, and it's not the right time of the year for you to appreciate it right now, but it's kind of my space.
Wait, you built this?
I had it built. There was one here, but it was starting to warp and it needed some work. It was added in 1994 when they renovated the home. This was added. This area opens up into a patio. I sort of live out here.
Yes, this is really charming.
Kind of private, you know, it's in the back away from the road. And so this is just an area for dining, for entertaining. It's a little fire table, hot tub, kitchen, outdoor kitchen space.
Wow. So this is your library, a much smaller version of what it used to be.
This piano that's in here was mine as a kid, and actually my parents, I believe, inherited from maybe even their parents. So it's old. And I played the piano growing up, and I sang. Both of my kids have played now, the piano as well, and my daughter is in the show choir at Zionsville. The show choir is busy during the holidays. They perform a number of different places, and one of the things that I've loved doing with my daughter as she was growing up is going to the holiday home tour. Here in Zionsville, they open up probably 6-ish homes to the community to walk through them and to experience the show choir singing from within the houses. My daughter and I have gone every year since she was this small. Aww. And this year we're actually going to be on the tour. So,
yeah. So you're hosting it and they're going to be in here performing.
Yes. Everyone, you know, it'll be really cool to welcome folks into the house and do that for the holidays.
That is really cool.
Do you want to go upstairs?
Yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, okay. Let's see it.
I love this home for the stairwells. So there's 2 stairwells. Yeah. One that goes up the front of the house here, and then one that comes down into the kitchen. Okay, and this is the bathroom. This is the master bathroom. I love it. I love how there's, again, these tall ceilings, even in the upstairs, with built-ins. I'm not certain whether or not this was part of the renovation. Probably it was, though, when it was brought back to a home, because I understand that even these upstairs bedrooms were used to store books. It was part of the library. Right. So this is the fourth bathroom. I told you before, there's too many bathrooms for just my small family, but I love this bathroom too. This is a nice clawfoot tub. I'm not sure of the origin or year, but I love the look of it.
It's beautiful.
And then this is laundry facilities over here to the left.
Nice. So your laundry room is upstairs. That's really nice.
Very convenient. You don't find that in older homes all over the time. And here we are, the second staircase, and this one leads back down into the kitchen.
So you recently had to do some repairs on the house.
Yes. Unfortunately, this past spring, I think it was in April, we had a set of storms that came through, maybe some tornado activity, in fact. And I had two large trees right out in front of the home. I was lucky enough that one of them dropped a branch not on the house itself, but it did damage the front porch pretty significantly, beyond repair. The good news with that is that I just finished replacing the porch. It took a while, but I took the opportunity to replace it with more of an open front porch feeling, one that I can sit on, one that I can watch and welcome guests from. So it's going to look a little different than when it was a library. The library had an enclosed porch with kind of wall to ceiling or floor to ceiling windows. And replacing that was kind of difficult. So I've gone with something different.
Yeah, and now you can enjoy it and sit out there and talk to your neighbors.
Yeah, Zionsville is kind of a community full of front porch loving creatures, right? So now I get to be one of those too.
Thank you so much, Alicia, for sharing your beautiful home with us. It's been a real treat to see, and I know my viewers really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's really cool to be part of this. I love historic homes. And obviously you noticed antique furniture, so it's really cool to share it with some other folks that really like it too.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for watching Rebuild and Revive. And thanks to my sponsor, Studio Bliss. Beautiful spaces made for living. We will see you next time.